settings in the actual game. That usually helps. But yeah, we're live, and no viewers yet, but hopefully we get some in. This is, of course, the Dukes of Gaming Saturday night stream. And of course, tonight, I'm your host, Thomas, the Duke of Anime. And joining me, of course, is the Duke of Rocket League, Cole. How are you this week now?
I'm good. Congratulations to our Duke Ben, who had a new baby.
He did. Congrats to Ben. Awesome. If he's listening to this or afterwards, like, congratulations to Ben. And yeah, good week for him. Busy week for me. How's your week been as far as busyness goes?
It was great weather all week, so I worked a lot. When it rains, I get to stay home and play video games. When it's sunny, I have to go out and go to work. So I worked a lot this week, but it's good. I made, make money when I work and have some free time when it's raining. So there's pluses to both. But I am, I've been thinking about GTA a lot.
I wonder why.
So we might as well get into it.
How hyped were you when you saw that information?
Honestly, kind of hype. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm pretty disappointed because this usually doesn't happen for Rockstar. Usually, like, we got it reminds me of how we got the PlayStation details. The game is still pretty loud.
It's loud.
Yeah.
Glad you said it early. Streamer mode. I wonder what that does.
Yeah, try like.
They're good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe even one. Maybe one would be perfect. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so GTA always. There may be a rumor about where the next city is, but it is never ever confirmed in any other way besides the trailer dropping. And this time we got the Bloomberg article, and it just killed the hype. Like, that Rockstar never does that. It never happens that way.
Well, also though, when they release games in a different time than now. Like,
yeah,
I feel like leaks are just more in general for everything now.
You know what? So if I worked at this, all right. If I was the head of marketing at these big studios, like, okay, if GTA, we know they could probably put out some kind of teaser trailer. They're far enough along, even if they're 2 years away or 2.5 years away, 3 years, whatever. I would have the marketing department create a trailer, and if anything leaked like this Bloomberg article, I'd go ahead and drop that trailer right then. Like, have that Vice City announcement trailer ready to go, so you don't get outshadowed by this or outs by this Bloomberg article. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just have it ready to drop, and like, hey, everybody's finding out about Bloomberg article. Let's just go ahead and drop our trailer right now. Like, have it as a backup. Like say I wasn't going to drop that trailer till November 5th. Let's have it in our back pocket just in case, shit goes down.
Well, that's what Naughty Dog did with that Last of Us reveal, where that's exactly what they did actually. That thing got leaked, and then they had the gameplay announcement and the developer thoughts come out like a couple days later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that didn't go over well because the leaks were alleging that the game was not really much changed, and the official gameplay kind of confirmed that too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a fine line. I don't know how done Grand Theft Auto 6 is, or when we're going to see that.
Well, several people in the article, this came from like ex-Rockstar employees or people that had just left. And several of them said that they thought the game was over 2 years away still.
I mean, truth be told, that's the best case scenario, right?
Yeah, and then someone said that they were looking at like 2023, like October 2023, which to me is really soon. That's a year.
Not happening.
I
That's
don't
not
think it's
happening.
happening either.
But it'd be cool if it happened. I mean, look, I think that, and look, we already talked about it, right? We want to do a GTA 5 retrospective.
Yes.
Really explore like what makes that game so good, because I feel like GTA 5 has kind of turned into a meme at this point, more so than an actual like greatest of all time game, which it absolutely is. So, but I mean, it's been a while since we've gotten that, and we know that Rockstar we've not seen them operate a GTA in a very long time, besides this autopilot that we have going right now with GTA 5. Like,
so speaking to that, we hadn't seen it in a long time, and they've lost Dan Houser, which is one of the Houser brothers.
mm-hmm.
You know, Sam and Dan Houser are the brothers that created GTA, and they've been the creative force behind GTA for a long time. GTA 5 was the Houser brothers. Plus, have you ever heard of a guy named Leslie Benzies?
I have not.
He was like, I think he was like the producer or something on the game, and he was also big in Red Dead 1's development. Ooh. But apparently there was like a rumor that back in the day that GTA 5 was in shambles, and they called him in to come in and basically he just turned into a masterpiece. Apparently, like he was a big driving force behind GTA 5, and he was the one that did all the promos for like all the IGN previews and stuff like that. There were always interviews with Leslie Benzies. After GTA 5 came out, he took like a sabbatical from Rockstar for like 6 months, and they fired him.
Oh man!
And so everyone in the Grand Theft Auto community was pretty bummed out about that, because I think he was a big part to the secret sauce of GTA 5. So I don't know, man. I'm skeptical, because I mean I can't be too skeptical because Rockstar has a pedigree that is just unmatched.
I mean, didn't they just release one of the greatest games of all time a couple of years ago?
Red Dead. Yeah, I know. I mean,
it's I don't think I think there's enough people in that studio that they can make a really great game. Like, I don't think that's the problem. Like, I guess my main question is, what is this realistically going to be? Because with these leaks, I guess let's kind of go into the leaks a little bit. Like, do you have them on hand of what was exactly leaked out?
Oh, yeah, I can pull them up. I pretty much know them by now. So basically, okay, so one of the big main things is two playable main characters. Initially, they had 4. They were going to one-up GTA 5 by 1 player. So instead of having 3 playable characters, you're going to have 4, which to me just seems a little ridiculous. Like, oh, GTA had 3, let's add 1 more. Let's do 4. Maybe like a Reservoir Dogs or something, which might have been cool. But so they're going to have 2 main characters, and one of them is a Hispanic girl. So that's something that the GTA community has always wanted, is a female lead. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty huge that there's a female lead. Like, that was probably the biggest thing that all the media took out of the article, was that the lead is female.
That's the one I saw, and then also the other ones that's in Vice City.
But people are being a little bit misleading, because I don't think it's not officially a female lead. It's a Bonnie and Clyde duo, a male and a female.
Okay, so kind of like Assassin's Creed, how they've done the dual protagonists.
Exactly.
And so wait, are you playing lovers essentially?
Maybe, maybe. I mean, that would be cool, dude. That sounds cool. Like, the male and female lead sounds awesome. Hey, what's up, Jamal and Matt? What's up, y'all? Any thoughts on GTA 6? But so that's a leak. Okay, so another big thing, which I'm disappointed by, but I kind of expected it. The game's set in Vice City, which it's awesome to go back to Vice City. I don't know about Vice City present day. Vice City in the 80s was incredible.
That's my thing. Like, are we? When I saw Vice City, I'm like, Miami right now is, I wouldn't say boring, but as far as a setting for a video game, not the greatest thing in the world.
So I was thinking this. Like, this is just a crazy thought I had, and I think I've read something of this before, but I had like another take on it. What if it was So a time travel game where you're set in where you play in the 80s and you also play in present day as different characters, and if it's not like if it's like a father daughter or something like or
It
something like
sounded like Saints Row a little bit.
that.
Something about you said time travel.
No, not
That
time,
would be
not time
crazy.
travel. I mean, like I'm saying, you play as a character here, and you play as like a flashback.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I don't think they'll do that. That's not
That'd be
really a
cool though. I
Rockstar
think
thing, but
that would be cool. Yeah, I think
that would be cool. But anyway, okay. So another thing that they said was they reined in the scope of the game. Apparently, there was going to be 3 major cities in the beginning, and now they have scaled it back to just Vice City, which is a little disappointing. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I would rather have a very much fleshed out world as opposed to a whole bunch of less fleshed out worlds. That makes sense.
Yeah, like they already said, there's more interiors in this game than like all the GTA games combined at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's crazy to say this, but I think that their threshold or their like competition is weirdly enough Cyberpunk. Because it's not to say that GTA 5 or Cyberpunk is better than GTA 5 or anything. But Cyberpunk is technologically more advanced than GTA 5. It's just by the nature of it's coming out way later.
I don't know. I think it is as far as graphics, but
Graphics and as many interiors that you can go into.
Oh yeah, the interiors and stuff. But as far as like systems and physics, I don't think it touches GTA. Like traffic physics.
You can't really compare that because one's an RPG and the other one's GTA.
Yeah, I mean,
so, yeah.
But if it tries to be an open world, you got to compare it to GTA, the open world. I mean,
well, I mean, I think that GTA might have more systems than something like Skyrim, but like Skyrim is an RPG, so we never like make that comparison. Like, I think that Cyberpunk has more in common with Skyrim than GTA in a lot of ways, so they're both RPGs.
They definitely tried to market it though as a GTA.
They did. But as soon as you get in that car, you realize it's not the same.
Yeah, you do, because you realize this feels like shit compared to GTA.
I will say they did make strides. Like they did, because it felt horrible when we first got it. Like when we first got Cyberpunk and I saw those car physics, we had some car missions yet, Josh. I'm not doing any of these.
Yeah.
I'm not collecting cars in this game. No. All the cars feel like toys. But I don't know. At some point after they've updated the game, now it actually feels pretty good to drive around. It's not GTA, but it's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I would say that I think Vice City has potential. And I hope that they set it in the 80s. I think
that'd be great.
I think that would be cool. Like honestly, like you can make it. I know Stranger Things is technically the 70s, right? But like you can make it kind of like a Stranger Things vibe to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's potential there. I think that because like you can't. I feel like they know they can't really spoof like the real life politics now.
Oh yeah, see, that was another thing in the article. They have, and this is a thing that the GTA community is upset about, but I don't care about this one way or the other. They said that they're cutting back on some of their jokes, like they're trying to be more respective of jokes that punch down at different communities and stuff. Which I'm fine with. I don't really care about that.
Look, if they're like as long as the jokes are funny, I don't care. You know, I don't.
I think the rule for me is as long as their jokes are funny, and as long as no one's off the table, like they make fun of everybody and not just
that's not
one.
I agree with you. That is not how things are done anymore. Some people you can definitely make fun of, and some people you can't make fun of.
Yeah.
And do I like that idea? Not really. But unfortunately, that's an unfortunate reality. I don't want to get in trouble. But there are certain groups of people who you cannot make fun of.
Yeah.
In 2022. Or whenever, especially when this game comes out. I don't know when that will be. It'll probably be even worse.
Yeah, probably will be.
So I understand the need for them to have to do that. But I will say, like, I watched South Park. still, like not every day or anything, but I still watch episodes. They have not toned down their humor at all.
I know they haven't. I don't know how they get away with it.
I don't know either. Like, I remember this. I'm not gonna go into what they were making fun of, but they were making fun of like some. I'm like, I feel like if any other cartoon even tried to do this, they're getting taken off the air.
Yep.
So, and I don't see why GTA isn't considered like on the same tier as South Park. You know,
no, yeah. I mean,
it's clearly not, but I'm struggling to see why.
no, GTA is bigger than South Park.
I don't think it's bigger in terms of like. I think that the powers that be allow South Park to tell the jokes they tell.
Well, they're going to go.
The powers that be would not allow GTA to tell.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have the pull that South Park does.
There we go. Because from a number standpoint, I probably would agree with you. But just from like a pull standpoint, I don't see. There's definitely some jokes I can see not being able to be landed. I can see that.
You mentioned earlier about Rockstar's competition. You know who I think their only competition is with this game?
Knack.
No, their self. Knack. Oh shit. No, their self. I think their competition is GTA 5. Can they top them? Can they top GTA 5? And I don't know.
No.
I just don't know. No, but
has any Mario game sold more than Mario, the original Mario or Mario 3?
I don't know about that.
I doubt it.
I mean,
I'm not saying I'm right, but I do not think. I think that those are two of the most highest selling games. I think the original Super Mario Brothers is one of the highest selling games.
But like Rockstar has topped themselves every damn time. That's like
but
what
I feel
is
like there
incredible
is a certain
about
point
it.
where you stop topping yourself.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's got to be.
That's so big that it's untoppable, and it came out at a different time of video games.
I mean, like, GTA 3, Vice City top GTA 3, San Andreas top Vice City. 4 is arguable, but GTA 5 definitely topped them all.
I feel like there were a lot less games coming out back when GTA 5 released too. Or games were not as like accessible, and there were no Fortnites. There were no like there was Call of Duty.
So that's another. You just remind me of another thing that was leaked in the article. So instead of them doing the 3 cities, they want to scale down, focus on detail of the big Vice City, which I will say does not mean that that this game's map will be smaller than GTA 5. I almost can guarantee you it will be bigger than GTA 5. But it might not.
I don't think it will be bigger in terms of how wide it is.
I think it will be
bigger in terms of how in depth it is.
I think it'll be bigger as far as landmass. I think it'll be bigger as far as like they've always gone bigger as far as. But I don't know that they'll go as big as their initial plan. I think their initial plan was absolutely massive, and I think they scaled it down, which is still probably going to be twice the size as GTA 5. As far as like I'm talking about depth and like breadth, like map size, and as far as interiors and everything, I think they'll top that, which is crazy. But I think they will. Maybe not. Maybe it will be the same size. It definitely won't be smaller because I think they know that they can't.
I don't think gamers care about that anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I think that was in a different time where you had like
Just Cause, remember?
Like Todd Howard being like, "Look at that mountain. You can go to that mountain." It's like I don't think gamers really care about that anymore. Like I can't remember the last time I was like, "Yo, this open world is huge." I can't like this because this open world's huge. This is the greatest game I'm gonna play. You know, it's like I don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah,
I think that a lot of gamers just want. It's about like what's in your game as opposed to like just the textures, all the assets that you're putting down. Because what's the point of having the map that big if most of it's just nothing there?
I think it needs to be at least as big as GTA 5, though. Wouldn't you agree? Like if it's smaller, like you need to have that sense of travel and that sense of like going from place to place. It's kind of what makes the map and the world special.
Well, let's say it is in Vice City. Vice City is a lot smaller than LA, right?
Yeah, but they could do
like Vice City is short for just South Beach, right?
Yeah, Miami.
But Miami, but is it all Miami or is
it's all Miami? Yeah, because South Beach was in Vice City. You had the South Beach area. It was just an area of Vice City. So Vice City was Miami.
Let's see.
And imagine this too. You imagine they're probably going to have the keys. I don't think that they would have just Vice City. I think they're going to have like the keys and like a little bit of area outside of town. Like I don't think they're going to have three major cities like Vice City, Orlando, and Tampa. They're going to do Vice City, the Keys, and maybe like a little bit of swamp area, and that would be it.
Yeah,
Whereas
I think it'd be cool if they did more than just Vice City.
they're going to have to add. They're going to have to. I think the Keys is a safe bet because that's not a big city. It's places to travel to and cool stories they could do with that.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I think part of me does feel like I prefer them to do something different instead of just going back to Vice City, but at the same time, I get it. It makes sense from the standpoint this is the only this is the only one they haven't gone back to.
Yep, Liberty City. I mean, they're doing it. Well, they actually did it in opposite order. They went Liberty City to Los Santos, now the Vice City.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they skipped Vice City.
Yeah, they skipped Vice City,
so
which was probably their most popular setting.
I think. I mean, maybe that's hard. I think that it might be Liberty City.
Yeah, you're true. That's right too. I mean, they're all arguable, man. Honestly, like San Andreas, that was awesome, and Los Santos. But okay, so another leak. Dang, I forgot what I was going to say. There was another leak about the city. Oh yeah. Okay, so instead of doing the big three cities, they want to, like I said, they want to scale down, concentrate on Vice City, and with updates, it's going to be like a ongoing live service. I think where they want to add cities and locations and missions and stuff later on. So instead of doing the GTA Online like heist that they're releasing now, think about like this release, and then next spring they're releasing Liberty City, and like you can go to Liberty City, and then they might release the Los Santos, then they might release like Tampa, Florida, which that would be really cool, and I think that's going to give Grand Theft Auto huge legs, which like it doesn't already have,
It has all the legs.
It does.
It has all the gaming legs you could want. But I mean, I think that it's this game is too big to fail, no matter what happens. So it's just a matter of what they want to do to really make this the best GTA experience so far. I feel like it's impossible to top Grand Theft Auto 5, but they're gonna damn sure try, and I hope they succeed.
I think this will be the last real numbered installment in GTA.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet that.
Dude, I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna continue to add on to this. It's just gonna wind up being GTA Grand Theft Auto.
But like, why wouldn't they do that? If they were gonna do that, why wouldn't they have done that with GTA Online?
I remember reading an article a while back saying that they didn't structurally set up the code of the game. They had so many problems with being able to add locations that they could not do that. So they were talking about in the future how so the initial plan for the next Grand Theft Auto was called Project Americas, and that's been stated by like the Housers and everything in interviews. What they wanted to do was add locations over time and create like a massive America with all these cities you could travel back and forth to. And it was called Project Americas. But in that leak, they said that plan was scrapped because it was just too ambitious and too hard to do. So they went for, let's still concentrate on our city and let's add little locations over time.
I've heard that too. I've heard that leak too. I don't think that there's one game that tried to do that. I think The Crew.
The Crew, yeah.
Yeah, The Crew is the one game that actually.
But it was just paper thin. That's the problem.
And that's what's going to happen if you do that, Like, if you focus on trying to make, like, besides one area, it's going to be a problem, like, when you're actually trying to make this game.
Yeah, and that's where I like the idea of adding cities over time. Like, they drop GTA, and a year later, they add in Liberty City, or they add in San Francisco, or whatever,
Well, that's
New
the plan
world.
right now, right? Like that's what they're gonna do.
That's what they want to do. So that sounds cool.
I think that's a good idea. I think it's gonna. I think that's a good method. I think that I really want to see what this online is gonna look like. Like, is it going to be like this all-win experience, or are we gonna get a single player like we usually do?
Oh, I think we're gonna get the single player for sure.
But is it going to be more like integrated into like the online? You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh.
Like what if that's what they might be going for?
Oh, I'd love that. I'm be all in for that.
Because I mean, what really separates GTA Online from an online MMO right now?
It pretty much is.
Right. So I'm like, I think that they might want to go in that direction. Oh, damn, I messed up. But they might want to go in that direction, and they do. Unfortunately, they do have a failure on their hands with Red Dead Online. So we've seen what happens when they don't pay enough attention to the online thing. But you can, I guess, maybe that they kind of consider that dead on arrival. Maybe. Because who wants to be a cowboy and when that game come out? 2018?
Yeah.
Like who wants to be an online cowboy? You know? I think GTA has a better chance to become in the zeitgeist again. Crazy thing is, what are they gonna do to people who play GTA Online right now?
Do what?
What are they gonna do with the people who play GTA Online currently?
I think it's gonna be it's just gonna be the old game. People are gonna play GTA 5, and it's gonna be separate. They may let you bring your character over,
but they're not just gonna release a single player game though. They're gonna there's gonna be a new online.
Oh yeah.
But are you gonna sacrifice the crazy like fan base of the GTA 5 online community?
You don't think they'll do a thing where like they'll load the city and make it to where you can fly back and forth?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
And when I say fly, not like physically, I mean like load.
I think that'd be preferred. Oh damn, I messed up. I think that would be preferred, but I don't know how they'd implement that. Like, I don't know how you bridge the gap in between people who are going to be playing on next-gen consoles, playing GTA 5, to people who are just playing GTA 5.
No, you'd have to make it next-gen only.
And see, therein lies my big problem, because I don't know if...
Here's how you do it. You say, if you want a ticket to Vice City, you got to be on PS5, Xbox Series X, whatever, and you buy your ticket to Vice City, $15, and you download all the assets. You know, download the map and stuff to your hard drive, and then in GTA, you go to the airport. You have a 1 minute load, and then you land in Vice City.
I don't hate the idea. Oh, damn. I don't hate the idea. I just don't know, like, if they're going to sacrifice people on last gen like that. I don't know.
The PS3, they sacrificed the PS3. They sacrificed PS3 and Xbox One about 4 years ago.
Yeah, but that was different though, because that was 5 years after the console had come out. And truth be told, like, we weren't in like the economic situation we're in now. So,
well, they either have to sacrifice them, or
it's Rockstar. They're gonna try to get as much money as possible.
Do you think there's any way this game releases on last gen consoles?
I think it's possible. I mean, look, I think like Fortnite you still be playing Fortnite on PlayStation. Oh man, you're gonna keep playing Fortnite on PlayStation 4. Like, there are a whole bunch of games that still on last gen. I have no idea. I'm getting some lag. Give me a second. Okay, sorry, I had some lag for a second. But yeah, you still play a lot of games on PlayStation 4, and I don't see that changing. Like, I feel like for some companies, like, let's say, you know, all Sony first party, of course, that's going to be PlayStation 5 only. At some point, you might get Ubisoft like, all right, we're only going to release Assassin's Creed on, you know, next gen.
Yeah.
When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I am not for sure.
If it comes out next year,
you're not gonna just not allow people to be able to play GTA 5 anymore. You know?
no, I mean you would just let them play GTA 5. Still, leave the servers open. But if they want to play GTA, 6, you got to have a next gen console.
But are you gonna have two different online games going on at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is,
that's where my concern is.
But if the game is next gen only, they're not gonna go out their way to release a last gen version of the new city.
Let me ask you this: if you were a game developer and there are, let's say, I don't know the exact number, but let's say there are 110 million PlayStation 4s out there. And at the time, and let's say there's like 50 million active users on PlayStation 4. And let's say you have PlayStation 5 that's at, let's say, like 45 million.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying, I'm not allowing any of these people who play PlayStation 4 to be able to play the new GTA Online, but we are going to keep GTA Online for PlayStation 4 available?
If I was releasing the game in 2023 next year, I would release the game on PS4 and PS5. I release it on both generations. Mm-hmm. If we knew when we were developing it that it was not going to hit 2023, it was going to be most likely 2024, I would make it next gen only. Because if anyone's going to push the next level, it's going to be Rockstar. And I agree with you. The money's there. Just release it in 2.5 years, it's going to be next gen only.
But also, besides the money, because I think the money is important, but just in terms of the player count.
Yeah, but imagine this though. They're placing a game though that's going to be popular. Like, look, for the next 10 years, people will be playing this game. Do they want to sacrifice and put it on old gen stuff when they know that this is going to be a humongous game for the next 10 years? Because I feel like that I mean, it didn't hurt them obviously with GTA 5, but they did say there was a lot of technical restraints that they couldn't do because it was on PS3 and they didn't play
it ran at like 15 frames a second, it felt like. So
yeah,
it definitely wasn't the best version of that game for sure.
You know what I mean? I mean, if it's going to be a game that's going to be...
That was also before they even came up with online, though. Or not came up with, released online.
I think it's a tough decision to make, but for a game like GTA that people are going to be playing for the next decade to 15 years, I think you've got to put it on next gen and develop it for next gen and harness all that power, because in 4 or 5 years, everyone will be playing on next gen. You know what I mean?
Well, hopefully.
Since it's that far, I hope it is too. I hope they don't get hindered by the last gen.
I hope you're right. I definitely, because I want to see more next gen exclusive games, because that just pushes the media forward.
Yeah.
But there is a level of concern that we're going to get into in our next kind of action item that might influence, just overall sales of, these video games and the price going up for some of them. But yeah, any final thoughts on the GTA rumors?
I mean, I'm excited. I just wish Rockstar had announced it. I don't like it coming out like this.
Not from Jason Schreier.
Yeah, not from Jason Schreier and a Bloomberg article, but I mean, I still have high hopes on the game. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's only Vice City and they're not trying to add more cities in. But I mean, I'm going to wait till I see a trailer or something. I'm still going to be extremely hyped, probably.
Well, maybe you'll get it in GTA 7. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, God knows when that's coming out.
We're getting that trailer this year, though. I stand by my prediction. We're going to get the teaser trailer this year.
I think after we've heard this news, I think the odds of that have gone up a bit. I do think that the odds of that have definitely shifted. Where I do think maybe at the Game Awards we can see it. Maybe.
I think it's going to drop on a random like Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to put a tweet out on Wednesday. It's going to say 9 a.m. Thursday, GTA. It's going to be the symbol. It's going to say GTA 6 trailer, and everybody's going to wake up and watch that thing the next day.
I mean, look, whenever they release it, it will be the most played video of that day.
No,
So it doesn't really matter when they release it. So I do think you're right. Like it could just appear on a random like Tuesday.
That's how they've always done it with all of their every single Rockstar game since 2001. They've always released on their own. They have not done an E3 showing or anything.
Yeah, I mean, they're the one company that's never really needed it.
Exactly, yeah. Because they know that they'll seize all the headlines by themselves.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I hope is that they don't rest on their laurels. I feel like that's what everybody's doing. But sounds to me like they're going a little, they're not just doing the typical route. Because the typical route would have definitely been, let's do 4 protagonists. Like let's double up what we did GTA 5. I like that we're doing something a little different.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that we are headed for good pastures of killing cops and drug deals and robbing banks, getting all our vices out so we don't have to do it in real life. But interesting topic. But like I said, we hope that the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, all these, new consoles, we hope that they are going to be at that place of being at like 40, 50 million users, but we don't know because there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now in general. There's uncertainty with the semiconductors. There's uncertainty in just the financial outlook for the next 2 years in general. And we saw our first ramifications of this week through a little company called Meta. And to the shock of, I'd like to say everybody, because I didn't see any reporting on this beforehand, they raised the price of the newly named Meta Quest headset by $100 for all the models. Cole, what is your thoughts on this?
So when I first read that, I read the article. It was like Meta changes the price or whatever to $4.99, and I was like, I had to read it twice because I was like, wait a second, because I was expecting them to drop the price if anything.
You're right.
And I went back and read it, and I was like, wait a second.
On the market for 2-3 years, you drop the price of it.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I had to read it. I read it twice, and I still didn't understand what I was reading. I still didn't understand it.
I think it sets a horrible precedent.
I just don't think anybody else is going to follow this. Do you? PlayStation's not going to do this. Xbox not going to do this.
I honestly don't think they thought they could do it. That's my worry. I think that if you had asked them, if they could even get away with it, they would have been like, probably not.
But here's the thing: they can get away with it, especially Sony. Sony could raise the price $200.
Well, that's the question now. Will they? Because I think I watched this video on YouTube. Now, I don't know his sources. He usually puts good information out there. So I watch YouTuber every week. His name's ReviewTech USA. And he said on the Sony's earning call, they were asked a specific question and they said no comment. That's not good. That's not good.
I already have my PlayStation 5.
Exactly. Because I don't think they'd raise about $100, but I could definitely see them be like, yeah, $550, $450. I could definitely see that.
I mean, why not? Because people are getting the PlayStations and scalping them and reselling them anyway. No one can buy a PlayStation at the market value.
The thing is, while they're not easy to get, they're easier to get now than they were height of pandemic.
I have still yet to see one in the wild.
I haven't seen one in the wild either. But in terms of you can go to GameStop on random days and they will have bundles.
Yeah. Well,
I think it will also get better. I think they're gonna have bundles for when the PlayStation VR drops. I think they're gonna probably have a VR bundle that you can get. That's going to probably be like $850.
Look, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I mean, if these things are selling that good, supply and demand, raise it $100 and just say, hey, this is a temporary raise in price because the supply is low. Simple as that.
It's like, yeah, I just don't like the precedent of us raising the prices on this thing because we've never experienced that as gamers where the price of the actual console has gone up.
I know, that's crazy.
But the crazy thing is, I think for Meta, I really want to see those sales for like the next quarter. I can't wait till we get to February and we see what this thing sold during the Christmas era.
Can we get the sales for the previous quarters or anything? Is there any way to see what they've sold?
Unless like they announce it, no. Like if they don't announce it, that would say a lot.
Yeah. Because
I mean, do you anticipate them getting a surplus in sales from this? Because I don't.
No.
This honestly takes the Quest. I feel like it's right at the border of a good value now. I feel like it was clearly a great value when it was at the price it was. Now it's harder for me to say like, oh yeah, that's a must buy.
Okay, so the base now is $399, right?
Yeah, that's what I have.
Wait, what is it? Before it was $299 though, right?
Yeah, everything has went up $100.
So there was the $299 version, the $399 version, and it went to $399 and $499.
I mean, you would think that.
I still think it's a great value. I still think it's such a good piece of tech for $400.
I mean, it's a fine piece of tech. I love it. Obviously, I don't use it every day, but I use it a lot of days.
Oh, we did forget to say that Beat Saber is included now.
It is? I didn't know that.
Yep, Beat Saber is included as a pack-in.
Well, at least maybe that's what that $100 went to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that it's still a great system. I think it's still one of the best next gen things you could get if you're looking for something of that variety. But I don't like the idea of you can just increase the price of your thing.
I know.
And basically just say, oh yeah, inflation. It's like, I don't think that's how inflation works per se. Like not that way. Where it's like we're just raising it by $100 just because. I think that they were always coming at a loss, like you said, and I think they found an opportunity to actually like bring it back down because they were probably losing a lot of money on it.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I mean, Facebook. We talked about them a couple weeks ago, but
it's an odd move. It's weird.
I'm getting a little worried about this company in the video game space because that is not a game. Like the one thing I like to judge these company on a lot of times is how pro gamer are you? Like how pro consumer are you?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the least is obviously Nintendo. Nintendo does the most asinine things for no reason.
They just do it to piss us off.
Yeah, at some point it's like just they're professional trolls. I don't understand why they do this, but they do. And then PlayStation comes in at second because PlayStation has a lot of that in them too. I just think it is I think, and it's not to say like I love Japanese people. I love the culture. I'm addicted to Japanese culture, but I think there is just a different like standard there than there is here. And that some things that might be considered trolling here is just like good fun over there. Or just like kind of like the norm, like nobody's thinking anything of it. I think Americans get real sensitive about things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think that plays a part, So and I don't think but it still doesn't absolve them of some of the decisions they make. But I think a lot of times they're just making a decision. They're like, you're the consumer, you just accept it.
Yep.
You're gonna play it anyways. And it's like,
and you hit the nail on the head with like Nintendo's the worst, then Sony, and then Microsoft is the best.
Yeah, Microsoft is always like, and I feel like it's because Microsoft is clearly third.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like they've been third since they've been in the company.
Yep, they have to be.
And I mean, I think they're making good moves now, to try to get closer to second, but they'll never be second. And I think Oculus is occupying this weird place where I don't put them in competition with Meta. But they're not in the same place as all the other companies. But this move, I really do see Sony like, we can do that. Like we can definitely do that. We can raise the price for our PlayStation 5. I think Microsoft, we can raise the price of Series X. And I think before this move, like they would have never even considered that.
It would be really interesting if they do. I think Meta doing it, I don't think many people are going to say anything. But if Sony or Microsoft did that, there are going to be some pissed off gamers.
People are already mad that you can't buy this thing now.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are going to react to in general, because most people are like, well, I can't find it anyways. So I was going to, it's going to be $800 for it on StockX or eBay anyway. So who cares? But I just don't like the fact that they were able to just do that, because it's so like not a gamer move. And it kind like, I don't know. I'm still, you know me and how I feel about these Oculus games, man. Like, I don't know who's in charge of that branch. I'm not trying to say anybody needs to be out of their job or anything like that. But I think there is a big lack of games on this thing. Huge
I don't know.
lacking. Hugely lacking. Like, even like Cole.
You're talking about like AAA games, but
let me just go through my library on Switch. Like, all right, so we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
You're talking about one of the best consoles of all time here.
I mean, I could pull out my Xbox and pull out Game Pass. I can go PlayStation Plus and pull out the PlayStation Plus collection.
Well, so we know the reason. I mean, you got the user base is the issue. The developers don't want to develop for it because there's such a small user base compared to these consoles.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand.
But that's why Facebook has to buy. They have to buy developers, and then they force them to make a game for it.
Of course,
yeah,
in the sweatshop.
But there are incredible experiences, like little small games, like the Walkabout Mini Golf, Beat Saber, Super Hot.
But there's no
AAA.
Wild.
No, yeah.
Like, there's no Kirby's Forgotten Land on there.
I don't think we're gonna get that for a while. I think it'll be another 5 years before we get like an actual AAA 10s across the board, 95 Metacritic.
I think that it's possible to do one because I don't think it needs to look like the most technological type game. I don't think it needs to be graphically intensive. I think you can make a really good game. Because, I mean, I haven't played it, but I heard Astrobot's incredible.
Yeah.
And Astrobot, like, people put that as, like, almost a 10 out of 10 game.
Yep.
There is nothing like that on the Quest. No offense to Saints and Sinners. No offense. But it's like, there's nothing to me that's on there. Like, when I tried Half-Life Alyx, which admittingly I did on a Quest, but I had to do it on a mega-powered PC. So it's like, the Quest wouldn't have been able to run it by itself. Like, that game looks incredible. And you're not going to get games like that on the Quest for a while.
If that was on the Quest, but obviously a dialed back version, do you think it would be the most popular game on the Quest?
I think it's possible.
So you don't think that's a system seller?
No, and I love it. That is, to me, like, right now, probably my game of the year.
So what is a system seller then? Describe me what you would like to see in VR that you think would sell systems. Like, what if you could? Like, what do you think?
Tetris 99.
Well, we got that Tetris Effect.
No, Tetris 99 is different.
Did you ever play Tetris Effect?
Yeah, I have it.
Did you in VR? Did you play it in VR?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's not that much different than when I tried it out on Series S Series X.
All right, so what do you think though? What's the game? What was the game that they need? Like, If you
I
were
think
the head of Oculus, what would you?
I'll
What would
show
you?
you.
What
I'm
would
gonna
you
show
do?
you this game. I'm not saying this needs
No,
to be the
this
game.
is a.
Oh, this is really loud. I don't know why it's so. You can hear me, right?
You just turned it down. It probably needs to go down a little bit more.
I don't know how to turn it. Like I never thought I'd have to turn it down, but there's no sound options in this game. Oh my god! Wait, no, that's me. No way! No way!
What?
There's no sound options in the game. Well, I was gonna show you this, but it's too loud. But so have you ever played Tetris 99?
Yeah, I played it. Yeah,
It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's a competitive.
but
it's a very short competitive battle royale game.
Well, so that's something that you could easily do in VR. I feel like some
and
sort of.
that's what I'm saying. Like they should get games like that.
But there are games like that. Like Beat Saber is a little small, like bite-sized game. I mean, so is Super Hot. And like,
well, yes, but at the same time, like these are not big brands. Like you need to get some of the brand names in here. You need to get a Sonic. You need to get a Sonic VR game. You need to get a. Like you need to really. I think, and I will say, I think PlayStation tried to do a decent job of this. They didn't do it as well, but they would have like the Iron Man experience. They had the Iron Man game. They had the Spider-Man experience, which I think came to Quest later. But they tried to do that.
Let me ask you this.
Arkham VR.
They got Resident Evil. What if they?
Oh, that's cool. That's a game that's good. But it's like that's not enough.
Okay,
that's in the right direction.
What if they absolutely nail Grand Theft Auto San Andreas?
I think that'd be an option. I'd like that.
It's in development for VR.
Oh, I mean, that's a great one if they can get that.
What if it was a game like that? What if we could play together, almost like GTA Online, but we're in VR? That'd be a system seller.
You said GTA Online, but it's in VR.
Yeah, like what if GTA Online was in VR and on Oculus headsets?
I mean, I feel like that's a lot.
That is a lot.
I feel like that's like impossible almost right now. But at the same time, no, because Skyrim's in VR.
It's a PS3 game.
Would you want that PS3 version?
No.
That frame rate was like at 15. Like I don't think that'd be good. I don't think that'd be good at all. Like, but I do think it's possible. I think Skyrim on Oculus would be good. I think that would actually be pretty good. Also, I think Game Pass on this thing would be cool.
Imagine Game Pass, but it was just you could sit in a theater and just play Game Pass.
I'd like that. I think that'd be cool.
Oh, I'd love that. And if we could play like beside each other, like we could both sit in the same room, like big screen. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could hang out and play Game Pass.
I think that'd be cool. I honestly think that'd be awesome. A really. Do I see them doing it? No, because Xbox is like there. I just don't see that working out. I feel like Xbox has a VR unit somewhere because Xbox does, not Xbox in general, but Microsoft, they do VR. They do Windows mixed reality. So it's like everything is there. I'm shocked.
If I was Microsoft, I'd want it on every system I could get it on. If Oculus came to me and said, we're going to let our users play Game Pass, I'd be like, hell yeah. I'll get as many people as we can subscribing to our service.
Yeah, I don't think Facebook is going for that.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, that's the issue. Do they want?
They're like, we want everybody paying for our games a la carte. Like we make more money that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see Facebook ever doing that. I think that's a damn shame though, because Sony and Microsoft have both said streaming is the future.
True.
So I'm wondering, like, are we just gonna be paying for games a la carte, or will there eventually be a streaming service on this thing? And
I don't know. Streaming VR, I feel like is even farther away.
yeah, I mean, what's the difference between streaming? Because I mean, I don't know. Because I mean, you can stream Netflix on it, right?
Okay, so the difference is, think about if you stream a game and there's just very, very, very small lag. But if you're streaming a VR game, and
from a lag standpoint,
yeah, if you look to the left and it's even slightly off, you get motion sickness.
Well, make it like Xbox Game Pass, where let's say not streaming, but you can just download the game.
Yeah, I'm sure Facebook will come out.
Just have a catalog, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll come out with like a Meta Plus service.
Meta Plus,
$8 a month to get a free game.
Oh my god, Meta Plus. That's exactly what it'd be called too. Oh my god. You sounded like Zuckerberg himself. I still think it's a mistake they changed their name. Like that's still to this day. Like I don't understand why they went all in on that.
I think it's literally because they're going all in on that. Like they are.
It's almost like I'm not saying I'm not judging or anything if he does this, but it's almost like Mark Zuckerberg did like a whole line of Coke, and was like, "We're changing it to Meta." Exactly. It was like a spur of the moment thing almost.
It's like he woke up one morning and thought he had a good idea and came into the office and he just ran.
Right. Like that's what it kind of feels like. Where it's like, really, we're calling it Meta now? Like the whole company? We're not calling this thing the Oculus anymore.
Can you imagine everybody, all workers, they're all like turning to each other like, are you serious? We're about to change Facebook to Meta?
You got all this Facebook gear. You got all this Facebook. You got all this Oculus gear. And all of it doesn't matter anymore because it's called Meta now. Like,
yeah. All that stuff's throwback now.
That's crazy. Like I still don't understand for the life of me why that happened. But
I think that honestly, I think they're just so convinced that that's the future and that's the future of their company that's why they did it.
Well, they just got pushback from the government, right? I think I saw like the government are trying to classify them as a monopoly in the virtual reality space.
That's absurd because they're not.
I honestly, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I struggle not calling them that because I can't think of a competitor.
Yeah, but I mean,
you can't think of a competitor.
Well, let me ask you this: then, how come? Well, Valve is a competitor, and PlayStation VR is a competitor. PSVR is. So, if you call that, if you're going to say that VR gaming, they have a monopoly, then you got to say Nintendo Switch is a monopoly on handheld gaming.
No, because there's no like we don't consider like the Switch to be. The Switch is a very unique device because it's both handheld and in like a regular console. And there's nothing stopping Sony from making a portable console.
Well, PSVR, I think, is a competitor to Oculus.
Not from a monetary standpoint. Like that's the thing for me. Like the fact that it is, and they're like, we don't know what the PlayStation 2's like PlayStation VR 2 is going to look like, but I don't consider that to be like from a sales perspective going to be anywhere close to Meta. Right? Like you'd agree with that, right? Like just from a monetary standpoint, I was struggling to disagree with it. Because on nature, I'm like, it's not a monopoly. But I don't know. It kind of is like a little bit.
Okay.
Like in terms of if you like had to put a market share on VR headsets, like the Quest is definitely in the high 90s, like 90 percentile. Let me know when you find it.
Yeah, I'm reading about it now.
I also have to say, I played and beat Tony Hawk on my PlayStation 5. It runs really well on Switch. I'm actually very shocked by how good this thing looks on
I would
Switch.
love to get that on Switch. Would be a really fun Switch game.
It was $10 with my coins. It was on sale, so I was like, you know what? I love this game. Let me try it out for $10.
Is it still $10?
It's $20, but I had like Nintendo coins too.
Oh yeah.
I had like $10 in Nintendo coins. This is $20 right now. But honestly, I would have bought it for 20. This thing is like, it's running. I think it's 60. I think. Can't really tell, but it looks nice. I can't tell if it's not running at 60. It obviously looks a lot worse than the PlayStation 5 version, but it still gets the job done. And on portable, it looks amazing. But this is the first time I've played it on my monitor. You find it?
Yeah. They're acquiring a fitness VR company, and the FTC is suing them, saying that they're trying to buy their way to the top because they're buying.
There it is. That's what it was. Yep.
So who knows if they're going to prevail or not? We'll see.
Yeah, I think all the Democrats voted against them and all the Republicans voted for them. So I think that's how that went.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
It does, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think that ultimately the Quest will be fine, but I think they are right for another company to come in and become the head of like the big VR company.
I don't see. This is where me and you differ on this, because I don't see anybody taking them.
I think Microsoft could, if they really put their mind to it. I think they could, because Microsoft already has the infrastructure in.
But
place
they're so
really
far behind. They're so far behind.
They're really not.
Well, we don't know. I mean, I guess maybe not. I mean, they could
maybe
release...
from the portable headset perspective. Yes, I don't think they have that on deck. But they have. I was looking up Windows Mixed Reality. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like cool. Windows Mixed Reality, like it's VR.
Yeah.
And and what they've done is they basically have acted as like the software side of things. So they haven't really gone deep into the hard. I think they have some Microsoft VR headsets, but they've mostly said we're going to do software for this.
So I guess if you think about it like this, Microsoft, to what, this is kind of to what you're saying. VR headsets, everyone knows how to make them now. HP makes them, Valve makes them, Facebook makes them, Sony makes them, and everyone knows about inside out tracking, which is the cameras on the headset that do positional tracking. Everyone knows that. So Apple or Microsoft could make a standalone headset. And like you said, though, Microsoft could come out of the gate if they made a similar headset to Facebook. They have all the power. They have just as much money as Facebook, but they have the catalog of games. They could come out. They could release a standalone headset next year with Game Pass built in. They own Altspace. Microsoft owns Altspace.
You know what would be a killer app? Oculus would not get this. Like, if Microsoft would get it, but you know what would be a killer app, I think?
What?
If you release the Master Chief Collection on like a VR headset.
In VR. You can play it in VR. Yeah.
Honestly, not even the Master Chief, just the first 3 games.
Yeah. And think about it. If they came out and said, our headset comes out fall next year, launching with the Master Chief Collection in VR, people would lose their minds. Like, yeah,
it'd be exciting. Like, it'd be and honestly, like, I feel like of all the companies, like, they have the cachet to really get that done.
Yeah, and they could have Game Pass where you can play it on their headset. You can stream Game Pass games.
Respect to Facebook. Facebook's not known for their game development.
No.
Microsoft at this stage, you could say, like, one of their things that you can say they're good at is game development. They're not the best, far from it, but they're respectable. And I think that if you ask some of these Microsoft studios to have a renewed focus into to VR, you might have something on your hands there.
Yeah, and imagine if you take Altspace Like the tech behind alt space is awesome. The sense of presence in alt space is incredible. Imagine if they took something like that and they made like a Microsoft Home, almost like we talked about many times, PlayStation Home. But
They actually invested some money in the alt space.
yeah, and the Premier app, the killer app, is they launched with Master Chief Collection, and they launched with a version of Microsoft Home where you can play games with your friends in their apartment or their house. And you can just hang out and play video games.
That'd be great. I think that would be what the doctor ordered.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I think they could definitely do it, but at the same time, we never get the things that we want, so we're probably never gonna get it. Like, I don't know. I feel like it. I also fear from the standpoint, if they were to do it, they probably would have already done it, right?
I don't know. I mean,
do kind of fear that. Like, I'm like, have they already like kind of seen like this is not going to be the future? Because I mean, there's nothing stopping them, you know.
It's crazy, man. I don't know. It's so crazy to think about what gaming's going to be like in a decade.
I mean, if you told me gaming was going to be like this a decade ago, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Where it's like everything's online, you know. I remember gamers didn't want that at first. Remember?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like the next 10 years is going to be more of a leap than the last 10. Because 10 years ago, 2012, we were playing online games a lot in 2012.
We were, but we were not to the extent of how many people were playing them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely changed. But yeah, I do think there's room for things to get better.
Yeah.
All right, let me just get this secret tape, and then we'll move on to, I guess this will be our last topic, which is what we've been playing. I have a lot to get through. How many games have you played this week?
I have not played. I played a little Rocket League, and that's it. I played Stray.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Stray. How you like Stray?
I don't know, man. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, but
just neat.
Yeah, the atmosphere is incredible sometimes, like really incredible. And I love controlling the cat, except for the fact that all the jumping is automated, and I don't like that. It's not even.
love that.
Oh gosh, it's not even a platformer. It's just you press X and he jumps so. It isn't a platformer. It is almost like a point and click adventure.
Yeah, and once I realized that was going to be like that, I was disappointed a little bit, but then I started thinking. I watched like a review for the game, and they said it perfectly. Like, it would be silly if you were just able to jump. You would not look like a cat.
I think that was IGN's review. I remember that too. Yeah.
And I was like, that's true. Like, that's
true, yeah. Because you'd be missing jumps as a cat all the time. It wouldn't even be true to being a cat.
Right. And this game was made for cat lovers.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I was like, yeah, that's actually a good point. And honestly, like, I love the animation because the cat does a little charge up thing before it goes up, like a real cat. So I think the attention to realism of trying to make it as close as possible to an actual cat won me over. But what else did you like or dislike about it?
Well, I haven't played that much. I've only played about an hour and a half.
Okay.
I like it though. I want to keep playing it. So I don't not like it. I mean, what do you think after you've played more time? Like, and what did Alfredo think?
I started out just liking it, and as I played more and more of it, I'm like, I really do love this game in a lot of ways. I don't think it's
game of the year category.
I have to play more of it. It's definitely like in my like short list though. Like, when game of the year comes up, I will be thinking about Stray and trying to parse my thoughts of, do I think this is the game of the year worthy game? I think it does, like, it meets a lot of criteria for it, but I'd have to think more and more about it. I'd assume you're not in that camp.
No, not yet. Not game of the year category, but it is such a cool idea for a game, like to play as a cat. and there's just never been anything like it. I really like it. I don't not like it. I like. I'm not as big a fan of the tap X to jump thing, but
Yeah, I mean, look,
it does make sense though.
You know, I definitely get that. It's definitely sells itself as a platformer, and it really isn't. It's more like a really big puzzle game. You kind of have like this semi. It's not open world, but it's open level. You know, where it's like you're able to go wherever you want to go and figure out where you need to go. You have hints. You have the little robot that gives you hints. It's a very interesting game. Like, I don't think I've ever played anything quite like it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I hope you finished that. You're playing it for free on PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I went ahead and paid for the year for the premier PlayStation, whatever it's called. I don't even know.
It's a great deal. I
Yeah,
paid for
I went
it.
ahead and
I got it
paid
too.
for it
So.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
With the taxi.
Yeah.
What's your history with Tony Hawk?
I played it when it first came. You know, when it was popular. Tony Hawk 1, Tony Hawk 2.
Well, this is Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
Yeah. I played these games when they came out. You know, I never was I liked just riding around and doing jumps and stuff, but I never have been the gamer that gets into combos. I have never ever got into that, like linking combos and trying to keep them going. I've never found myself getting caught up in that loop. So
I like doing it on certain levels. Like this level, I'm not really a big fan of it, but I do like that's one of my main things I love doing, like just chaining. You know, like it's a certain fun to it. It's like
no, I agree. I understand. I totally understand the draw for sure. It's just never been my thing with games. Like even like the Batman games, I never got into the combos and stuff.
Oh, right, you do. Gotcha. You know, I mean, look, that's why I love video games. Like you can play a video game in so many different ways.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Some people go through Grand Theft Auto, but yeah, I put like 100 hours in the Grand Theft Auto. Didn't play a lick of the story.
Yeah.
Didn't even play online. Just ran away from the police for 100 hours. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And those are some really blessed souls there. You know, because you know. But yeah, I mean, I used to play Tony Hawk when I was real young.
So, you know my favorite one? My favorite Tony Hawk game I played a lot of was Tony Hawk Underground.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that at some point we get a remaster of that.
Yeah, because it was open world. It was like open world and it was online.
See, I was too young to play it online. But when I had it when I was a kid, like I definitely 100% did that story mode. That's the one with Bam Margera. No, that's Underground 2. Like Bam Margera was in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hope to be playing those games eventually through a remaster of some kind
or a new one, just Tony Hawk Underground.
Well, you know who owns this now, right?
Who?
Xbox.
Oh, really?
It's part of Activision. It's part of the. This is part of the acquisition.
That's right.
So hopefully, Lord Phil Spencer will bless us with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6. You know, 5 was horrible. I remember 5 being horrible. I remember my friend playing that and was super disappointed.
Yeah, I remember that.
But this was a return to form. I gotta say, like I love when this game first came out. Like I played the hell out of it. And then the PlayStation 5 update came out. Like I played the hell out of it then too.
We're talking about one of the most popular demos of all time, The Warehouse.
Oh man, even the demo, because honestly, the demo on like they released a demo for it in 2020. They released the Warehouse for
That's awesome.
This new Tony Hawk. And I'd like to say that was like a huge demo too. I remember everybody was like, "Oh, this might actually be a really good game."
Yep.
I feel like everybody was skeptical before that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my history with Tony Hawk. Love the franchise. But yeah, besides this, I've also been playing my fair share of JRPGs. I'm not the Duke of Anime for nothing. So we've had 2 big JRPGs released in the past 2 weeks. Have you been privy to any of this nerdy nonsense, Cole?
Live alive.
See, I don't even know how to
And say it.
pronounce.
Live
I
alive.
think it's Live Alive.
Live alive.
I think it's Live Alive. That's what I've heard on all the reviews.
So I want to hear about that one. I'm really interested in that one. What else?
Okay.
So you've been playing that, and what else?
I've been playing Xenoblade 3, but I will.
Okay.
But I'll discuss that one in a second. But Live Alive, I've always heard great things. Like, this is one of my good friends who loves JRPGs. One of his favorite games of all time. He played a fan translated version. I'd like to say like 5 years ago. He says his favorite game of all time. So I'm like, all right, that's a high bar. Like, for somebody to put this as their favorite game of all time, it's not even in English. Like, they had to literally like bootleg translate this game.
Yep.
I am about halfway through, and I see what he was saying. This is a very unique game, Cole. Like, I actually think I would recommend it to you.
Is it great?
It plays around with greatness. Here's how good the game is. The game showed me almost immediately this is an old school JRPG through and through. There is not much quality of life here.
Oh, because it's just the battle system is slow and old school.
It's not even that. I love the battle system. I'll get into that in a second. So to start the game, you can start on 8 different stories. And it's almost like an anthology where you can play through each one.
Okay, so this sounds exactly like Octopath Traveler. 8.
But it's similar to that. Octopath was very clearly inspired by this game.
Yeah.
Very clearly. But this game eats Octopath's lunch. And I like Octopath a lot. I really do. But the way Octopath went about that was very much not the way to do it. Where did you play a lot of Octopath?
I played like one of the character storylines and I dipped out.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So how that game works is you are essentially like all traveling together, essentially. Like all the 8 characters are traveling together. And then when it's time to do one of their storylines, all the other characters essentially disappear. Yeah. Except for in like some clear like spots they don't. And it almost is, it's like it's asking you to suspend your belief. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like I just never could. This game doesn't even try that. This game just like at the beginning, when you load up the game, you have a choice to select 8 stories. And you just play through the stories, and each one is individual with like very thin things like mixed in to kind of make them seem like all one world. Like one is a it's like a cowboy world. One is a it's like the future. One's the future.
Oh, that's cool. So they're like
one's the past.
Different atmospheres.
Almost feel like different games at times.
And they're all, but every one of them is a JRPG, right?
Yeah, and they all have the same battle system, but they all play with the battle system depending on who you are.
Does it all interconnect towards the end?
Well, I'm not there yet, so I don't know.
I mean, it has to. That's only
well, the one thing is every single final boss, like the final boss's spelling for each one has been very similar so far. So I'm assuming that there is something linking these final bosses together, if that makes sense. Like I think it's interesting. I think that part's interesting. But the main thing, like for me, how I knew I loved this game, I started with the prehistoric path. So essentially, you're a cave boy, not a caveman, but a cave boy.
Dude, this sounds awesome. I'm in.
Yeah, you have a cave boy, and you have his gorilla best friend, and they live in the cave. And I was playing, I was having a good time, and the game did not tell me that I needed to start grinding. Because I got to a point where the game locked me in a room and I have to fight this boss. And I'm completely underleveled. And then I look it up online and apparently it is a glitch from the original release. And I lost an hour and a half. And that's how I started the game. I started the game with I just lost an hour and a half of gameplay. Because I have to restart because I'm soft locked.
Could you go through and just select a different character?
Yeah, that's what I did. I just
Can
restarted.
you bounce back and forth between the
You
characters?
cannot. No, you cannot.
Really?
You can only do one at a time. It's true to the remake. Like the original game, you couldn't do it. This game, you can't do it either. But also, I really don't mind that because I feel like if I were to do it that way,
Yeah.
I forget the stories. I feel like once you get locked into it, it's like you're playing a different game right now than the one you just played. Like there's the coolest one. I think the one you'd really like. There's this like Street Fighter inspired level, like this inspired world, where like you're not even roaming around an open world. Like you're selecting from like a character selection screen who you're gonna fight.
That's awesome.
And you're like fighting them with the JRPG battle system, but it's almost treated like a fighting game.
That's cool.
So that's one. There's another one where you're a ninja and you can avoid like killing anybody in the level to like at all because you have like stealth abilities. So some people a lot of people consider that one the best level because you can either kill everybody in that level or you can go through the whole level undetected like a ninja.
That's awesome.
There's another level where you're like a psychic where you can read people's minds and you have psychic powers and stuff. You're a cowboy. I haven't played this one yet, but you're a cowboy in one. And you're a robot in one. Like there's so many different like varieties of characters. And the character writing holds up. Like it really does feel like it's of the time, but in a good way. The battle system itself, it's a grid-based battle system. Have you ever played a game kind of like that?
No, I was just looking at gameplay of it. I don't know how I feel about that. I was kind of hoping for a turn-based, like a classic turn-based, but
well, it is turn-based from the standpoint of like, I think battle system is perfect to be honest, because you can like every move you make, like if you make enough moves, that's your turn. So like if the enemy hits you with something hard as hell, you better move back. But that's your turn if you move back. And the other thing I like is each level restarts. So it's like you don't have to worry about your health going forward. You just like battle, and then if you lose most of your health in a battle, like it resets after the next battle. So I like that too. The gameplay is satisfying, rewarding. Nothing I'll say is welcome. This is a great game. Just overall, just a really good game. I think I lost Cole for a second. But yeah, Live a Live. Hold on a second. Let me get Cole back in. Hey, you're back.
I don't know what happened. It was my internet connection. Lost it. But yeah, so this looks good. I mean, I don't know about
it's definitely going in my game. Like obviously, depending on when I finish it, like how I feel about it. This is definitely a game of the year contender. Like I'm very like I was very much anticipating this game. I thought there was room for greatness here, and I think
isn't there a demo of this too?
There is, yeah, and it actually contains the ninja level I was telling you about.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, download that, play it, see if you like it, and yeah, I don't know when this will ever go on sale, but I highly recommend this game. And honestly, also it's only 20 hours long, so it's not even a long game for a JRPG at least.
Yeah.
So I think you like it. I think you might enjoy it, even though it's not exactly the traditional turn-based combat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you like it.
All right, what about Xenoblade Chronicles?
So I have attempted many times to get into the Xenoblade saga. I really have. My friend let me borrow Xenoblade Chronicles 1 for Wii. And I thought it was ugly. And I thought it was slow. So I never went back to it. I was like, you know what? It's not for me. I was convinced during one of the directs that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 would be for me. Bought it. Came on my birthday. Played it. Did not like the characters. I am not. I don't hate fan service per se, but when it's just anime girls with titties just for the entire 100 hours, it's just there's a maturity level that we're not meeting You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
the character, I think they're from Scotland, so they have this like interesting accent. You know, and it's, I don't know, the vibe of it was not, it felt very immature. I heard that game gets better. I've heard it gets better, but it just wasn't hitting for me then. This game, even from the trailers, I could tell like there is a level of maturity here that we have not seen in previous Xenoblade games. The battle system is a lot better. I didn't really like the battle system when I first tried out these games. Lost Cole, but I like the battle system for this game a lot better. Yeah, I was just saying I like the battle system for this a lot better. The
So
characters
I
are a
missed
lot better.
I missed the last thing I heard where you were saying it's you know you didn't like 1 and 2, but so you're liking 3? Is that what?
I am liking 3. I'm liking it a lot. I
Now,
think
between
that
those two, between Live a Live and this one, which one?
oh man, that's hard because Live a Live is a 20-hour game. This game, they saying, I'll check in on how long to beat, but they say it takes an average of 100 hours to beat this game.
Jeez.
So
It's got an 89 Metacritic.
I know. I got good points on my fantasy draft for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hold on, let me see. And Mark, I gotta bring that up to you. I gotta bring up our fantasy drafts for a second.
I gotta make a play and just try to draft some crap for the fall.
Cole, I think you messed up because you let things sit for too long.
Look, and I went with all the heavy hitters that got delayed.
Like you had the most like potential for your list. Like you had two big. Like, you had Gran Turismo and you had Elden Ring. I'm gonna share my screen with the results in a second, but yeah, they don't have the exact amount of time it takes to beat the story, but all of the reviewers said that Xenoblade takes about 100 hours to beat, and I mean that's a lot. I don't know when I'll get around to actually getting that done, but I'm enjoying my time. I'm about like 2 hours in. The story is really interesting so far.
How the
What I recommend. Graphically, it is. I'd say when it's docked, it might be the best looking Switch game.
Really?
Undocked, it looks good. It's a little cloudy. But I remember Xenoblade Chronicles 2 being the cloudiest Switch game I've ever seen. So I think they definitely made marked improvements. But yeah, it when you watch this game though, you're sitting there like, what if this is on like PlayStation 5? Like, what if this is on Xbox Series X or PC? You know, so I do think the Switch definitely limits what this game can do. But overall, I'm having a good time with it. 2 hours in, 98 to go. So can't say I know exactly if I like this game or not. But so far, I'm really fucking with it.
Is it since you don't know the story, is it an original story?
So each Xenoblade takes place with different protagonists, but it's in the same timeline. So other stuff apparently does matter, but not as much as it would in, let's say, going from trying to think of a game you're like, what's a game franchise like God of War 2 to God of War 1, you know, or it's not like that where it's like we're literally continuing the story. So yeah. I feel as somebody who didn't beat the first or second one, like it's done a good job of explaining to me the world.
Yeah.
And now, is it a Cole game? I would venture to say no. Like I'd probably bet no.
But you know that I do like some JRPGs every now and then. You know,
this is a different.
Well, that's why you gave me Live a Live, I think.
Yeah,
but some of my favorite games of all time are JRPG. You know, Final Fantasy 8, 10.
Well, it's not turn based.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah,
no, I think from that standpoint, you're not gonna like it because it's more like Final Fantasy 12. It's more like an MMO.
Yeah, it's more like 14's battle system or 11's battle system.
Right. No,
but, I mean,
I will say I played a lot of those games. I played a lot of those games. this is the best implementation of that kind of battle system I've seen so far. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, dude. We need to get on some Final Fantasy 14.
I'll download tonight. It's free, right?
Yeah, it's free. It's free
Yeah,
for the first like, 50 hours.
Is it crossplay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna download tonight on PC.
I'll download it. I'll start the download tonight.
Yeah, we can do that. I've been putting that off for a while, and I kind of at least want to experience that story. But yeah, I mean, Xenoblade is. I think that it so far right now it seems like it deserves its rating of like 89. That sounds about right to me. The quality and the improvements that I've seen at the very least.
89 is really good.
That's same grade as Horizon. And truth be told, like obviously I love Horizon, I love Elden Ring, but this game is looking like it has all the right to be in that Game of the Year discussion as far as what I've seen so far.
See, I played Xenoblade Chronicles about 4 or 5 hours too.
And you like it?
I mean, I kind of liked it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I don't know.
Not enough to stick around.
Yeah, I just didn't stick around.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't hate it either. I just didn't like the characters. And I don't think I was in the mood for that kind of battle system, if that makes sense.
So it is making me wonder, though, since you like this one, if I might could like this one.
I don't think you will, but I hope you do. I'd love to have somebody talk about it. I think Alfredo might. I feel like this could be Alfredo's like Shin Megami Tensei 5. Like he really got it. He loved that game last year after I suggested it to him. So I think that because this game's hard. This game can get really hard.
What did Alfredo think about Stray? Did he like it or not? I said he hates cats, so maybe he didn't like it.
He didn't. I don't think he didn't hate it. He wasn't like I liked it a lot more than you.
Yeah.
Like Stray is definitely going to be in the discussion for Game of the Year. It's not gonna. It probably won't win it. It might not even make top 5, but it's definitely something worthy of at least talking about. But yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my overall thoughts on Xenoblade. Before we go, I just want to. I don't want to mess up the stream, so I'll just kind of look at the fantasy draft. But Cole, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 empty slots.
Look, this is my MO.
But here's the problem.
Fantasy anything.
Here's the biggest problem, Cole. You're still ahead of me in points.
All right, so I'm gonna make something happen for next week. I'm gonna pick them. I'm gonna pick these last few months.
Well, you must have a big budget. You must have not spent any money, right?
I didn't, yeah.
Yes, you have plenty. I mean, there's a decent amount coming out. I will say a lot of the good stuff's been picked.
I need to get very meticulous with.
See, my list. See, here's the thing. With the leaders right now, we have the Duke of Design and the Duke of Education. Clams, I'm sorry, you're out of it. I'm sorry. It's just looking at it. He's like in the same position you are, except he also like bet against Pokemon Legends Arceus.
That'd be like me betting against Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I still don't to this day don't get that.
I don't get that either.
He bet against Legends Arceus, and then he picked Joe and Max Caveman Ninja, which I have not heard. Let me look up and see if that game is coming out this year. Hell, that might surprise us and get like a 90-something. You never know.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, this does not look like it's coming out this year. But
Mac.
But I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he has some empty slots too, but you have the most empty slots. And you have 2 of the biggest games of the year. Now, my list is different in the fact that I have my list all start like I don't think I had a single early game on my list. So my list has been delayed for a while. But I have God of War coming.
Oh man, you're gonna win.
I got Bayonetta 3.
Yep, you're gonna win.
Hogwarts Legacy, I need that to drop this year.
That's not gonna drop this year.
It's gonna drop this year. And then we're gonna have Callisto Protocol.
That's gonna get you some points.
I need Advanced Wars to drop. I know, they're not trying to drop it because of the war in Ukraine, so I understand that. But also, and I have to get these put put in different spots. But Overwatch 2.
Yeah, if you got this on lockdown.
Another thing is I don't though, and also I have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you got this on lockdown.
Here's the thing. Like I think I'm over Ben. I think I've crossed over Ben a little bit because Ben has 3 games that I know for sure are not coming out this year on his list.
What are they?
Hellblade 2.
Yep.
Hollow Knight 2 and Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get those.
My prediction is you win by.
I think I'm going to make a really great comeback to get second place because I'm not going to lie. Alfredo's list is the best list of them all.
Read them again. His.
He got Horizon.
Yep.
Pokemon Legends. Mind you, most of Alfredo's list has already been released too, so we know. Yeah. So Lego Star Wars, which got him like an 82.
Yep.
This game called Metal Hellsinger. I don't know what that is, but I don't know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles gave this man an 87.
What a good pick.
Like, Jesus. Midnight Suns, I have a feeling, is going to be in the mid-80s.
Mm-hmm.
Moss got him at 84. Mm-hmm. Triangle Strategy got him at 83. Tunic got him at 85. Sifu got him at 80. The Cuphead one got him 88. Wow. And he still has The Last of Us Part 1 remake coming out.
Wow.
So that's probably the winning list, if we're being honest. Like, I don't see that.
I think you can beat him.
Because I mean, look, I'm just projecting right now. So Alfredo doesn't have a single 70 on his list right now.
I'll name my score. Just name the game, and I'll tell you my score before you tell me yours.
Like, name my games?
Yeah, name your games. I'll tell you what.
God of War Ragnarok.
93.
I think it's going to get 93, 94 too. I think that's about right. Mm-hmm. Bayonetta 3, which, mind you, Bayonetta 2 got like an 89, I think.
90. You're going to get a 90 there.
I think that's possible. What else? Hogwarts Legacy. Let's assume it's coming out this year. I think that's a solid 84. I think it's a solid 84.
82.
Okay. I had this game called Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. That's not coming out this year. Mm-hmm. I need them to delay this game so I can just replace it.
Yeah.
But that's probably not going to come out this year, so I need to replace that. Callisto Protocol.
91.
No, I think it's going to be like high 80s.
91.
Xenoblade got me 88.
That's good.
Overwatch 2, I think that is potentially getting me like an 86.
88.
I think it's possible, yeah. The Quarry gave me a 79. Live a Live gave me an 81. F1 gave me an 81. I think Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will probably give me like an 84.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's enough to beat Alfredo because I have 2 games that one was a 79 and one's a 72. And Alfredo doesn't have anything 70s on his list.
Wow.
And all his games are going to release this year. And he bet against Joe and Mac, Caveman Ninja. And he bet against Hellblade 2. So he's going to get points for that. So I just don't see a scenario where Alfredo loses this, unfortunately.
I don't either. Yeah.
He stacked the deck here. It's kind of incredible.
The way, if Bayonetta gets like a 93 or something, and Ragnarok gets like a 96.
They're not giving my silly anime game no 93. I wish, but I wish.
If here's the big one.
Uh-huh.
If Hogwarts Legacy comes out and does what we think it may do, it's gonna score over 90.
It's not good. It's not.
I know it's not. I agree.
Thing,
that would be the biggest shocking gaming history. I feel
if it was legit that what
demo, we think it may be. Yeah.
If it's what we saw in that trailer, that's a 95. But it's not going to be that.
If it's what we saw in that trailer, it's a 99. Like, that looks incredible.
If that game is coming out for Switch, it's not going to be no 95.
Yeah, I know. That was the biggest telltale sign that was like,
you're coming out for Switch? Really? I'm hoping it's the cloud version.
Yeah, please, please. That's our saving grace is the cloud version.
Yeah. Although, if that Switch port is running fairly fine, you might entice me to get on Switch. Like that.
I want that thing on PS5 looking beautiful.
I need to see it. Like the thing
I
is,
need that thing on big screen.
I love Harry Potter, so it would not like be out the realm for me to buy it on both. It wouldn't be.
Yeah, I can see
I might
that.
just buy it on PC and then buy it on Switch. But we'll see about that. I don't know. But
Gosh, please look, please. The perfect release date for that game. Give it to me like the first Tuesday in December. Please give it to me then. It's cold.
I think it's my birthday, actually.
Oh, if it is, it's meant to be, dude. If that is, that's meant to be. When's your birthday?
December 3rd.
The first Tuesday in December. What is it?
No, it's a Saturday.
The 6th.
So it would be the 6th would be the first. Okay.
December 6th.
Look, Callisto Protocol comes out on the 2nd, so I'll be preoccupied.
You ain't gonna be preoccupied. If Hogwarts Legacy comes out, you're gonna drop Callisto Protocol.
No, because I love the original Dead Space. I have a lot.
But if you're a big Harry Potter fan, this is something you've been wanting forever.
It is, but I feel like Callisto Protocol is not going to be over like 20 hours.
What if Callisto Protocol comes out and everybody says it's great, but what if the reviews drop 4 days before Hogwarts Legacy comes out and it gets 97? Like it's one of the best rated games of all time.
Well, then, yeah. I mean, it's not going to be that, though. It's not like there's no way. There's not going to be Ocarina of Time. Like, it's just no way. Who's developing the game again? Avalanche?
Cars 3, Driven to Win.
Yeah. It's like, that would be a great story. That'd be excellent. But I don't see it. For my fantasy draft, I hope it happens, though. Because... for
gamers around the world, we hope it happens.
Yeah, my list is built on the fact that I think at this stage, I said 5 games that were possible 90s. 4 now, because Xenoblade didn't get a 90. It got an 88, so damn near. Callisto Protocol has potential to go to 90. Bayonetta 3 has potential to go to 90. Ragnarok has potential to go to 90. And I, truth be told, think the Hogwarts Legacy, if it's everything you're saying it's going to be cool, I think it has potential to go to 92. Will it? Probably not. But
look, the game has potential to go to 100.
Alfredo's list is built on consistency. Because do you know what the one thing Alfredo doesn't have on his list?
What?
A 90 game.
I know.
And I'm looking at his list right now. I don't think he's going to get there.
Nope.
Maybe The Last of Us Part 1, but I don't know. Like I have a weird feeling about that game. Is this me? I have a weird feeling that game might not review as well as we think it will.
Wait, which game?
Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get in the 80s. Why are they going to give it a 90 again?
Well, I've seen re-releases come out and I think they gave the last re-release I'm pretty sure IGN re-reviewed the last one, the Last of Us remake was it Last of Us remastered?
It scored it a 10 or something.
Yeah, I'm like,
if Alfredo gets a 10, you're gonna
I will be livid if he comes in here with like a 97 on that. I'll be like, that should be cheating. That game does not deserve no 97.
You're right,
but I think that's a possible 90 for him. But besides that, like Alfredo has a whole bunch of high 80s, and that has been as I've seen, that's the way to go with this fantasy draft because he's killing it right now.
Slow and steady wins the race.
I mean, look, my list has been slow because I've only had 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only had 5 games released. Less than you though. You've only had 3 games released, and the fact that you're still over me is kind of crazy.
What's hilarious is that I'm gonna go in and pick some games, and if I come back and win this thing,
You literally have Elden Ring, and that has catapulted you up to third place. It's crazy. Like Elden Ring makes up almost all my games that I've scored so far, that I've gotten so far.
That's crazy.
The Elden Ring got a 31 in terms of points, and you're at a 54 in general.
Damn.
Like you're gonna have your work cut out for you because I mean, as far as games go,
I'm gonna log on tonight.
It's slim pickings as far as games go. I was looking at GameStop's. I was in GameStop to get Xenoblade, and my friend who works there, we were just chopping it up, and he was. I was looking like, what games are coming out, and we were looking. I'm like, oh, like there's no like surprises anymore. Yeah, but I think you could pick out some good stuff.
Yeah, I might be able to find something. I guess got to think outside the box and get something I think can score me some points. Because if I can just get some, even like high 70s, I think I'll be in the running.
I mean, yeah, just you have literally a 17 and a 31 already. I don't like my highest game is an 18, and that's your second highest. So yeah, you struck out a little bit with Dying Light 2. But besides that, you got to replace Suicide Squad.
Uh-huh.
You got to replace Star. Oh, matter of fact, I was doing you like I said you had 7 to replace. You have 9 to replace because you have to replace Starfield and Suicide Squad.
That's absurd. I know. But if those
like, honestly, your list was looking like the most potential based on like if those games had actually hit this year. Like imagine
that's what I was going for. I was going for that.
Your list was like a more like it was even more optimistic than my list because my list had a lot of that too. Like I had to spend money because I had Final Fantasy 16 on here. I had Forspoken on here. I had a Redfall on here, and I had to replace all those.
Yep. But, well, I'm gonna lay in bed tonight and go and finish this out. Make my comeback.
Make your comeback. Well, I want to thank anybody, our 2 visitors, but we also had a whole bunch of listeners before. Thank y'all for watching the Dukes of Gaming live stream on every Saturday night. You can follow us on social media. Follow us on our YouTube channel as well. We release our videos. We release our live videos, posted usually the day of. And, of course, we release our podcast, which is the Dukes of Gaming podcast. And find us on all podcast services for that. Of course, I am your host, the Duke of Anime Thomas, watching anime as we speak. And, of course, I want to thank the Duke of Rocket League, Cole, for the engaging conversations. And that's all that I have to say, all that you have to say, Cole. We're going to log off from here.
Bid you farewell.
Bid thee farewell. Everybody have a good rest of the weekend.